Well, hello there in YouTube land and welcome back to the channel. And today we are at Stubbs Harley Davidson and we are in the Harley Davidson demo day, and today we're gonna ride the Softail, the Street Bob. Look at that. I'm not a big fan of the mini apes and that little sissy bar thing. I would much rather be riding the Breakout or the Fat Boy here, but I already got videos of those bikes so you can check them out. I don't have a video of this one. Now, I've already ridden a couple of these, so I know how it rides, so it's not a first impression video, but I'll tell you all about it. Now, before we go into it, why don't you do me a favor, please, guys? Subscribe to the channel. I see that a lot of people are watching the videos but not subscribing. I still need to like 200 more people to subscribe so that we can start getting those big bucks from YouTube. So why don't you just go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell button, and share the videos with your friends. So let's get on this Street Bob. So the Street Bob, as you can see, it's a bobber style motorcycle with the Softail chassis. So the Softail, ever since they improved it in 2017, has been one of my favorites. It also has the Milwaukee 8 engine with a 114, which is also one of my favorites. So, we're going now. Ooh. So the foot pegs are really high on this bike, and then the seat, I hate the seats. They also had a seat like this on the little Sportsters before they, discontinued them and came up with the new ones. They're pretty terrible because you slide off it. Everybody changes it, and then it changes the whole aesthetics of the bike. So, most of these bikes... Alright, sure, go ahead. Look at that beautiful CVO Street Glide. Make sure to check out the video on that one. That was the first one I rode today. And man, did I fall in love with that bike. But anyway, back to the Street Bob. So the Street Bob is a bobber style motorcycle with the Softail chassis, 114 Milwaukee 8 engine, and it's very minimalistic. As you can see, it has this little dash just like the Breakout. It gives you all the information that you need, but I don't really like it. This Casio thing, I hate it. And all of these little things, it's just something that Harley could do a little bit better. Even though it's a minimalistic thing, well, we're still in the 21st century. We can still have something a little bit better for the dash. Also, these indicators, the blinkers things, come on, man, give me some LEDs on that one. Now, the mirrors are the typical Harley mirrors, but they work well, and they don't shake a lot like in other models. So we're still waiting for this guy to move. The guys who are leading the rides, this demo, they don't know how to ride particularly well. But thank you anyway for giving us these demos. Now, the Milwaukee 8, it just makes you feel so good when you're riding it. I would obviously, if somebody gave me this bike, because it's not a bike, I had it on the list, so maybe I can get it for my wife, because it's short and it's not that powerful, but it is a little bit too powerful for her, and it's a little bit too heavy. So I took it off the list. So it's not a bike that I would buy. But if I would, let's say somebody gave it to me, right? I don't know, Christmas gift. I get Christmas gifts. Why not a Street Bob? So if I got it as a gift, I would definitely change these bars, remove that sissy bar, change it to a different seat, but I would have to go aftermarket because Harley does not make any good seats that look nice and are comfortable for this bike. But there are some Mustangs and some other things that you can do. Now, while you're riding, all of these Softails, they make you feel like a badass, man. I just love the way it makes you feel. They're not the fastest out there, but they do have plenty of torque downstairs so that you can go on the freeway and just get in between the cars, and you're going to be able to get rid of the traffic and get out of the way of them. So the suspension on these bikes, the Street Bob, it's not the greatest. because it's not as comfortable as you would expect for a for a cruiser type bike. And it has to do with the way that these soft tails are built. They're very low to the ground, so even though they are soft tails, they're not a hardtail, so it's not that terrible. You do have a suspension, but the suspension is very small, right? So you do feel some bumps on your back. And then when you have the forward controls like this, even though it's supposed to be mid controls, nah, they're forward. You don't really get a chance to get up on the bike. Oh, wait, yeah, you can. So there is mid controls. All right. Sorry, Harley. And another thing that I just remember when I had my Fat Boy, the front brakes are not great. I mean, not really. And I am saying I'm blinking here. It's, I don't know since when. The eventual right.
That's a legal term in Florida. It's known as an eventual left.
So, this bike, who is it for? It is for somebody who likes to cruise, right? It's not really a commuter bike, because if you start putting bags and stuff on it, you destroy the whole aesthetics of the bike. But since I don't really love the look of it, so maybe you can commute, put some bags. It's definitely not a touring bike, because it is more of on the uncomfortable side. But if you want to cruise around, feel like a badass, this is the bike for you. You want to go on the twisties, this is definitely not the bike for that. Because, I mean, it can handle some twists, but it does feel a little bit heavy when you're maneuvering it from side to side. So it's going to be hard for you to really move it and hit it at the corners. And even though it has a big engine with some torque, it runs out of power real quick. So you go on the twisties, you hit the throttle, go out of the corner, but once you're there, it stops accelerating. So yeah, any little R7 like mine would kick you in the teeth with this bike. But that's not what it's there for. This is a bike to feel like a badass, to cruise around downtown, especially at night, because the engine does get a little hot. Now another thing that I don't like is that these bikes, before I think in 2017 or 18, when they first came out, they had a better exhaust note. They changed it, so now only when you're revving it can you actually hear it and feel it. But yeah, do you feel like a badass with these bikes? I mean, I love Harleys, man. Give you so much trouble. They're so expensive. They are very spoiled brat little bikes, or big bikes, right? Because I spend more money on my Harleys than I do on my Japanese bikes, obviously. And I'm trying to get rid of the Harley brand, right? But every time I ride one, you understand why you want to be, you need to have a Harley on your lineup. You need to have a Harley on your garage. They just make you feel good. And then you feel part of the American dream. You feel part of the whole Americana culture. It's just, I mean, I want to have my cut and wear my cut while I'm riding this bike, feel like a badass. Because I know I am while I'm riding the Street Bob, especially with a 114 engine. Because the 107, it's a little bit lacking in power. The 117, I think it's a little bit too harsh, unless you give it a tune. The 114 is perfect for this Milwaukee 8. It's just perfect. And I like cornering on these Softails. They're not the best for it, but you don't feel the same on any other bike. And then the rumble of that Milwaukee 8 between your legs, you feel those pistons hitting. It just, I don't know, stupid. Why pay more than $15,000 for a bike that is going to give you like 80 horsepower, right? And it doesn't have any electronics, doesn't have anything. Look at this dash. Why pay for that? Because you're paying for how it makes you feel. You're not paying for anything else. You're not paying for power. You're not paying for technology. You're paying for old school motorcycle enthusiasm. So yeah, I love this. I love this bike. Even though I don't like the look of it, it's every Softail since 2017, man. And a lot of people got upset when they went out with the Dynas, like, oh, they destroyed the Dyna lineup, there's no more Dyna. The Dynas were terrible bikes. They couldn't handle for crap, they felt terrible, the ergonomics were all wrong. So it was a good thing that all the Dynas came to the Softails that year. It was a great choice from Harley. Now, if I had all the money in the world and I would have all the bikes that I needed, or that I wanted, obviously I would have a Softail in my collection, but I would definitely have the Fat Boy. I would never, even though right now it's a lot more expensive than when it came out in 2017 with that Softail chassis and that design, the new design. When that first happened, I think they had both the 107 and the 114, so you can get both. And at that time, I think the bike started at $16,000. Right now, you can only get the 114, but it retails for like $20,599, I believe. Even though it's too expensive, I would definitely have a Fat Boy in my collection. Now, if they stopped making and this was the only Softail, yeah, I wouldn't mind having this bike. I would have to change some things aesthetically, but I would definitely have this bike because you need a Softail in your collection, especially with a 114 Milwaukee 8. Now this year they made this bike be like a sporty bike with those colors, and then the number 1 here from Harley Davidson. But it's not a sport bike at all. Even that street light feels a lot sportier than this one. But you can ride any one of these bikes back to any other bike, and you're gonna fall in love. Definitely, for example, if I ride this bike next to my Suzuki, obviously I'm gonna prefer Suzuki because it's faster, it's easier to maneuver, it has all these things. But I'm definitely gonna enjoy this one as well, and I'm gonna want to ride both of them. I can't just ride one. Well, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to if you liked the video, to give it a thumbs up, right, subscribe, hit the bell button, and share it with all your friends. You don't like the videos, well, share it with all your enemies. And I'll see you, the back brake is terrible. And I'll see you guys on the next one.